Hey guys, I wanted to do an updated version of what's in my day pack. Yesterday a friend and I did a 13-mile hike. We did the Coosa Backcountry Trail in North Georgia. We had a great time, but it was a long hike, and we had some hail along the way, but we had a good time and everything went well. So I'll get right to it. First off, I brought these REI shock light trekking poles. Very helpful on the downhills. I don't really use them much on the uphills, I just carry them. But on the downhills they're very useful to keep from slipping. And it was kind of wet conditions yesterday. And I think these poles saved me from falling probably 3 or 4 times. So that's that. Where we went hiking, they recommend you carry wear some sort of day-glow orange clothing. So I found this day-glow orange handkerchief a while back, and I just pinned this to the back of my backpack, kind of like a cape, but it works great, and you know, it just prevents you from getting shot accidentally, although the odds of that are pretty low where we hike. This is a Deuter backpack. This is the 42-liter version, and everything in here that I'm going to show you weighed 10 pounds total, and that does not include water. I have 2 1-liter bottles of water that I brought with me, and so let's see what's in here. Okay, that was a map of the trail. I have 1 emergency ration food bar in here. Where we went hiking is really kind of remote, and if we had run into trouble halfway through the hike, there really wouldn't have been any way to get out of there, and we would have spent the night. So the emergency ration bar, I like to take this with me as a backup if something unexpected happens. It's not something I normally eat if everything goes as planned. Although they aren't bad, and I've had them before for breakfast, and they're really not bad at all. I actually kind of like them. So I've got a little whistle attached to the outside of the bag here, inside the top compartment. I've got a poncho stuffed in here, and I actually had to use the poncho because it did kind of hail and sleet during the trip for a little while, and the temperature was probably in the upper 40s, and so I didn't want to get wet out there in those kinds of temperatures, so I put that on. And this is the stuff sack for the poncho, which I haven't put it back in there. Brought some reading glasses. Brought a compass. I always bring this, although I rarely use this compass, but I bring it just to be safe in case I get disoriented. I have a small sheet of plastic here, which I can lay down on the ground if the ground is wet and I want to set my backpack down or sit. I can lay this over a rock or a tree stump or whatever, and not have to worry about getting wet or dirty. Now this backpack on the underside of that top compartment has another zippered area separate, and I have a pair of gloves in there. I always carry gloves when I backpack. Inside the pack, I'm carrying the Thermarest Z-Lite sleeping pad. Again, this was kind of an emergency type piece of equipment if we wound up spending the night out there, because it is quite remote, and if we'd run into trouble, we would have had to spend the night out there in the cold, and would have made a huge difference if that had happened. Fortunately, it did not. The water purification system I brought on this trip is the Sawyer squeeze system, and I really like this system a lot. It's very lightweight and easy to use, although the hardest part about using the system is collecting water in the little plastic pouch that comes with the system. And so I think next time I'm going to bring a cup or something like that, some sort of separate container that I can hook onto a hiking pole and dip that in the water, and then fill this and then filter. And I think that would work really well. But I'm really happy with the system. Used it several times, and it's been worked flawlessly. No complaints. This is a 0.1 micron filter, so it filters everything except viruses. So in the green waterproof bag here is my food bag, and for food on this trip, I brought some sweet potatoes mixed with raisins and walnuts, and that's pretty much all I ate while I was on the trail. I do have some deviled ham in here and some crackers, which I did not break into over the trip. Just ate the sweet potatoes. In this red waterproof bag, I have long underwear, kind of a heavy-duty long underwear, and a kind of a ski mask head cover. Again, if we had spent the night outside, this would have really been worth its weight in gold. And it's not too heavy. Definitely worth bringing in this kind of weather, this time of year in North Georgia. Some of these remote trails, they really are remote. And I think some people don't understand why I bring so much on a day hike, and it is because a day hike could turn into an overnight, an unexpected overnight, and as long as you're prepared, you can survive relatively comfortably. But if you're not prepared, it's another story. It could be life-threatening. And by the way, the poncho would also serve as kind of rain cover if I had to sleep outside. Also brought the Adventure Medical Kit's Bivvy sack. This is, let's see, you can read that, Bivvy sack, a Thermalite 2.0. And I would have worn all my clothing on inside this, so with all the clothing on, the long underwear, the head cover, I think I probably still would have been a little cool if I'd had to spend the night out, but I would have been okay. All right, so on the outside of the pack, I took a Mora with me, very lightweight and reliable knife. I didn't have to use it at all. Didn't expect to use it really. And then one last item that I brought was in this red bag here. I have kind of it's a combination medical kit, first aid kit, and other related items. So I've got a collection of various painkillers and medicines, some bandages, some gauze. I've got a couple of lighters. In addition to the whistle I have on the outside of the pack, this is a little bit heavier duty, louder whistle, along with a fire striker fire steel, and a very small emergency backup LED light and a mirror, all strung together. Oh, and I have another backup compass on here too. Have moleskin, very important when you're hiking. If you get hot spots, go ahead and get those taken care of and not let them go. can get worse. Toilet paper, some some cordage here, a headlamp which I used because we didn't get off the trail until 8:30 last night. So again, you know, an example of why you want to bring stuff like this. When we started out yesterday, we didn't even anticipate doing the trail that we did. We thought we were going to go on a shorter trail, but you know, we were kind of in the mood to do something a little bit out of the ordinary, so we went ahead and did the Coosa Backcountry Trail. And so some of the extra gear I had, you know, I was really glad I had, and this was really invaluable because we hiked about the last hour in the dark, and that would have you know, that would have been impossible without some kind of light. I've got a fire. This is cotton balls soaked in Vaseline for fire starting, and a little miniature roll of duct tape.